I said, Mom, I want to go to the motherland. She says, the motherland? I said, yeah, I want to go home. I want to go to Africa. They say we from Africa. That's where I want to go, Mom. I want to go and touch the ground and see how it feels. She says, son, you can go anywhere. You can go to the Bahamas, you can go to Mexico, you can go to England, you can go to Brazil, you can go anywhere. But you don't need to go to Africa. And she says, you go over there. She says, when you get off the plane, a lion gonna come out of the jungle and grab you and take you back in the jungle, and nobody's never gonna find you again. Or a big snake, one of those big snakes that they have over there, is gonna grab you as soon as you get off the airplane and take you back in the jungle, and nobody's gonna find you. I said, Mom, Nigeria, Lagos, is a city of 15 million people. There's a lot of people over there, and most of them are young people. It ain't like it is in America where you have mostly old people, but the majority of people over there are young. And I want to go and see the country. I want to see what it's like to be over in Africa. She says, I'm trying to tell you, but you won't listen, you hard-headed. I'm going today, I'm going to get some life insurance on you. Because as soon as you go over there, they're going to kidnap you. And nobody's going to hear from you no more. They're going to be sending pieces of your arms and legs in the mail trying to get a ransom. Now, I'm telling you, don't go over there in Lagos, Nigeria. Stay here in America, where you was born at. I said, Mom, I'm going. So what I did was I got my passport, and I couldn't get a visa because all the places were shut down because of the COVID-19. So I had to get a visa on arrival. It cost me a little bit more money, but I got it. I got on the plane, I got there, and I happened to be talking to a lady online, and so she met me at the airport. And when I got over there, it was totally different than what I expected it to be. Everywhere I went, you know, I stayed at the motel, and every day I would come down, they had free breakfast. Every day I would come down, everybody would say, good morning, sir. Sir, not sir. How you doing, sir? Have a good day, sir. And I said, well, this just got to be just inside here. No, but when I went outside of the hotel I was in, you know, they got doors. Everywhere got great big doors over in Africa. All the places for security reasons. But when I went out those doors and everything, and I'm walking down the street, people would say, good morning, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Even the little children, how you doing, sir? Very respectful and very hospitable. Everywhere I went to eat or any place, to the mall, it was welcome, sir. Welcome, sir. How you doing, sir? And you know, I accidentally walked into something, hit my foot when I was in the dining room down there. And a person says to me, sorry. And I'm like saying, why are they saying sorry? You know? And so when I arranged to have a driver, we on the road driving, and a car stops in front of us. And we going on this long bridge. I think it's the bridge where the people live down below in houses in the water. And so a car stops in front of us. And the driver says, sorry. And I'm looking at him like, okay, he's saying sorry. And as soon as we pass the car, the guy gets out and he looks at us and says, sorry, my car stopped. And this is totally different from over in America. I'm envisioning the guy, and if I was in America and the guy stops his car like that, somebody's going to get out with a gun and say, hey man, you got to move your car, or somebody's going to get out and get loud and get crazy, you know, but not over in Africa. And, you know, I also went to the black market, and this was strange too. When I went to the market to buy stuff, I seen things that I've never seen before. And these are people, I mean, just people got their little bitty stalls here, making wicker chairs, making pottery, making beads, making all kinds of stuff. And most of these are young people that's doing this. And you talking about entrepreneurs. Everywhere you went, people were working hard. And I'll say this thing about Nigerians, that when I went over there, everywhere I went, I seen people working hard, 12 hours, maybe more. And they didn't have very much. They were poor. But they had a happy spirit about themselves. You know, even though they didn't have no money. You know. And one of the areas that we went to, and I'm walking down the street because I wanted to go and buy stuff to bring back to America. So me and this girl, we walking down the street. And as we walking, we came from one vendor to the next vendor. And I mean, there's people everywhere. I mean, there's vendors all here, all there, the houses, the second floor. There's people selling stuff just all over. You know, one block, another block. It's all over in this area. And so I'm walking, after buying something, I'm walking down the street. I'm just walking down the street. You know, all of a sudden somebody said, there goes a white. And I'm like, I just keep walking. Then another person says, there goes a white. And I look around the girl, I said, well, I'm looking for some white people. And I'm looking, I said, there ain't no white people around here. Everybody's black. And she says, they're talking to you. I said, I'm not white. I mean, that's an insult. I'm from America, but I'm not white. She says, well, to us, you are. Look at you. You got a pointed nose. You got white blood in you. Your nose is different. Your face is different. And I said, man, I said, are you serious? She says, yes. She says, so we call you guys whites, blacks from America. And I said, okay, all right. And so I really didn't want them to know I was American, so the next day I changed my dress. I dressed up very poorly. I didn't wear no American hats. I didn't wear nothing that said America on it, no jeans, no nothing. And so we walking down the street, and we go to one vendor to another vendor, and I buy something. Then as I walk away, I hear the lady say, that's the American right there. And I'm looking over at her like, how did you know I was American? Because before we left the hotel, I was saying, I'm not going to say nothing. So you buy the stuff that I want, but I'm not going to say a word. So I didn't say a word. So I said, how did this lady figure out I'm American? She says, because of the way you walk. I said, the way I walk? She says, you have a little limp about the way you walk. I said, no, I don't. She says, we all walk straight here, but you got like a little limp. I said, oh man, so what I got to do? I got to change the way I walk. I can't change the way I look. And I can't change the way I talk. I said, man, I guess I'm stuck being an American. But one of the other things I said, I seen over there, that we went to a nightclub. And this was unusual for me, because when we went into nightclubs, about like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And we go in there, and we get us a table and everything. And most of it, a lot in there, it's like, it looked like kids to me, 17, 18 years old. And it just goes all the way up to, you know, people that's older. And I'm looking around in there, I see a lady with her kids sitting at a table. And I see another lady with her kids sitting over there. And I'm like saying, man, this is a nightclub. And so we sat at the table, right? We ordered some drinks and everything. And one of the security officers walks in and walks back out. And I'm looking, I see all the guys are standing up dancing. And some of them go up front and they do their little tribal dance, and they do hip hop dance, and they do all kind of dancing. But all the girls that's sitting with the guys at the table, they're all around the table dancing. And the lady I was with, she was saying to me, let's get up and dance. I said, but nobody else is dancing. I said, there's nothing but guys up there. You know, they ain't gay or nothing, but it's just guys up there dancing. And everybody else is just sat down, but everybody's having a good time. And you know, another thing I know is, I didn't smell no marijuana. I didn't see nobody smoking no marijuana, no blunts or anything like that. Nobody smoking no dope. But I did see that they had like the flavored tobacco bong or whatever you call it thing going around. But that was strange. I didn't smell no reefer. And another thing I noticed while I was there, I didn't hear no gunshots, nowhere, all while I was in Lagos. And about being kidnapped, I mean, I was in a secure place where every place is secure in a sense because every place has security guards everywhere you go. And they have gates that you have to go through. But I left out many times from the hotel and I went into different neighborhoods. I never got kidnapped. Nobody never kidnapped me. And because I was always with a Nigerian. I was always with someone. And I went everywhere. I went to, man, I went all the way to the ocean. And where the cars come in. And I seen all these cars coming in from different countries. And I seen young kids with big old wheelbarrows going to different places getting parts, like big piles of parts. And they'll bring them by, and whatever the car needed, there was somebody doing the work. Usually it was a young person. And I mean, they would be grinding the body of the car. They was doing all this stuff outside. And every now and then you look up, you see a tower up here where people go up in to stand to look over the area, you know. And I seen that. And another thing happened to me, that I was in the car with my driver, you know, and he was driving me around, and we just came from the marketplace, and it was kind of funny. And a guy that was standing right by some police officers. You know, all the officers, I didn't see nobody with no holsters and guns. They all had RK-47s. You know what I'm saying? This is what they holding with their hands on the trigger. And so I see this one guy standing by himself, and two officers, then three officers over here, because the road goes like this, and it turns this way and that way. And so, and you know, I got my camcorder, which my driver tells me, don't take no pictures of no policemen. He says, hide the camera. Don't let them see the camera. But anyway, we driving by, and there's just two officers right here and the three over here. And there's a guy, plainclothes guy, just standing there. He looks in the car and he sees me. And he says, that boy white right there. It was kind of funny because when he said it, I ducked. I said, the guy just said, there goes white. So I ducked. And my driver says to the guy, he says, mind your own business. Mind your own business. And so the officer is flagging for us to pull over. And my driver says, no, we're not pulling over. We're not stopping. He's my responsibility. And I'm not stopping this car. I'm going to keep going. And he's speaking in broken English, right? But I'm hearing everything this guy is saying. But I'm thinking about, he's not stopping the car. And they might start shooting. And so he says to me, he says, I'm not stopping. I said, oh man. He's not stopping. He said, all they're going to do is rob you. That's what the police do over here, is rob people. And she said, so I'm not stopping. He says to the officers over here, I guess there was a higher command or something. He says, I'm not stopping. I'm not going to let these guys rob him. So I'm going to keep going. So he kept going. But that happened to me 2 or 3 times. But I never got robbed. Because my driver was crazy. He never stopped. No matter what they say, he kept right on rolling. I mean, he was my protector, and so, like I say, but another problem I had was the food. The food was so hot. When I ate the food, my lips would be burning up. Then it was like I was sitting on a volcano. I mean, after about 4 or 5 days of eating the food, oh man, I had diarrhea so bad. Every 10 minutes I was running to the bathroom. And I finally went to a pharmacist. You know, you don't need a prescription to get drugs. So went over there and I told him what my problem was. He gave me something and fixed me right up. I didn't have no more problems with the hot food. But I started going to Kentucky Fried Chicken, which was like 4 or 5 miles across town to eat, because I had to have American food. And there was things, it was hard for me to find a hamburger, like cooked like it is in America, with the onions and the pickles and all that type of stuff in it. And another thing that was hard for me to find was potato chips. Nobody, all thing I could find was baked chips. No real potato chips. And I looked all over. No potato chips. And no really American candy bars, except for Crunch. I found Crunch, but I don't really eat Crunch. But anyway, and I went to a couple malls and things. I had such a wonderful time shopping and talking to the people and just going places. And one thing I want to say, I didn't see no half-dressed women, like a lot of women dress in America. You know, with all this showing, you know, wearing no bras. You didn't see none of that. I didn't see none of that. I went to nightclubs, I went everywhere, and I was looking. But the women had on beautiful dresses. And I seen some shapes I ain't never seen in my life over there in Africa. I was stuck. I was saying, oh man, there's some pretty black women over here. There's some pretty black women over here. I was like amazed. And, you know, even though I couldn't understand everything they were saying, because they speak English, but it's different from the English I speak in America. And I couldn't understand everything they were saying, unless they slow down. And some of them, I couldn't understand nothing they said, because they had just such a deep accent. And I noticed they had 3 tribes over there. And they have their customs, and they have their traditions, something that us Americans don't have because it was taken away from us. And so, I mean, I just stood back and looked at this, you know what I'm saying? Like I think it was the dowry that a person would pay in order to marry the girl. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay the father for his daughter. And you don't want to kidnap her and run away with her, because you might have the tribes after you. And I don't think the government is going to get involved unless they kill you. So, so every woman I notice over there has a husband. You may not see them with the husband, but they have a husband somewhere. And I've seen women with children on their backs working, children wrapped around the stomach of the woman working. And when I went out at nighttime, the whole city was still at, what, 12 o'clock? Everybody was still outside. It was just like it was during daylight. And people cooking food in pots, and people selling stuff. And I noticed another thing. All these vendors are all up and down all the important streets. At nighttime, they didn't take their stuff inside. You know, no one was around there stealing nothing. I mean, it was just totally different compared to America, you know. And I was so shook by the stuff that I seen, you know, the way that people act towards each other, and the hospitality that they show each other, and just the whole thing about Nigeria, you know. Now, there are no jobs in Nigeria. Hopefully the government will change that, because they do provide lots of education. That's why almost everybody in Nigeria is smart. It's like a professor, because that's one thing the government provides, is schooling. You can go to school forever, it seems like. But other than that, it's a beautiful country. I mean, I love the flowers. People don't live like they do in America, you know, but they do have modern roads. Maybe no stop signs and yield signs in the neighborhood, but they have good main roads that you can go on and get to anywhere you need to go. And sure, the people don't make as much as they do in my country, but the people have dignity. And the people are very joyous people. Even though they work hard, they still are happy people. and they appreciate everything you do for them. Now, when I got ready to leave, of course, everybody wanted a gift. Even people I talk on the phone, hey, how you doing? Oh, you getting ready to leave? Please, give me a gift. I don't even know you, but they wanted a gift. Everybody, even the little kids, hey, you American, you get ready to go? Yeah, can I have a gift? Everybody, so when I left, I gave away almost all the stuff I took over there, all my clothes, my hats. I mean, my driver, who was just wonderful, he says, well, give me something to remember you by. So I said, okay, well, I got some hats that said Chicago and this and that. So I ran up to the motel room. He said he's going to wait, and I ran back down and gave it to him. I gave him a shirt that I had. I gave everybody hats and shirts and everything. You know what I mean? Because they can't get this stuff over there. And so, but they appreciate it, and they love Americans. They love Americans. And there's something that I want to say to all black Americans, wherever you are in the world, go to Africa. Go to Africa. Invest in Africa. Africa, to me, is like a mother. And this is what I wrote about Africa. It's called Africa Calls. O majestic white-capped speckled mountains of jungle, jade-green lakes and slopes, and you, divine kings and queens, hold. O Mother Africa of old, with deserts, fertile lands of gems, silver and gold, do they not hear what the hollow tree trunks say? Africa calls for sons and daughters far away. She's plundered of her royal treasures, children and generations beyond measure. No longer people frightened from the forest with demons and ghosts, but war, suffering, starvation darkening the coast. Come, sons and daughters far away, do you not hear what the hollow tree trunks say? Beautiful, beaded, barefoot African women with youngs on back, in fields gathering empty sacks. Chaney towns, camps of steel and wires, old wall mud cities, forgotten empires. The council of elders no practice law, but sit with hands on jaw. Do they not hear the beating of distant drums, cries of old and young? Children moan round empty bowls, no bread. Lost boys lying from hunger and disease like dead. Africa calls for sons and daughters far away. Do they not hear what the hollow tree trunks say?